All right, and I want to read a text from Patty Wetterling that she tweeted. Our family is drawing strength from all your love and support. We're struggling with words at this time. Thank you for your hope. So indeed, she has really been knowing that all of us as a community, as a state, as a country have been right there sending her vibes of peace and compassion. I am turning now to Laurie Wondra. She joins me here at the fair. She is an intuitive, and she also is a Minnesotan who has watched and listened and read the headlines over the decades. Laurie, when you first got the news about about Jacob Wetterling and the remains turning up to be his, what was your take on it?
My heart goes out to the Wetterlings, and I had an honor of meeting Patty a number of years ago as she spoke to a law enforcement group. And from a mother, it brings peace, but as she says, it's not the ending that they really wanted at that time. But from a soul standpoint, it brings some closure to the family.
Yeah, tell
and
us
to the
about that,
community.
because for all these years, there were different beliefs. Maybe Jacob's out there somewhere going on 40 years old and he just doesn't know he's who he is and he might turn up. But he passed a long time ago.
He did. And as a mom, I can't imagine not knowing where he was all those years. So for Patty, our heart goes out to her and her family, and that they can bring closure.
And you do, listen to our guides and our angels, and you do connect with some people who have gone before us. Any sense of what Jacob is sending to his family and to the rest of us?
I just believe that Jacob has been with his family since his passing, and helping Patty along the way. As Esme said, Patty and her family and the foundation have done wonderful works for the United States, or for the national level. I know at one time Patty had taken some heat on, there was too much focus given on Jacob's case, but look at what has been done in the National Registry and what we do, the Amber Alerts. I mean, those are all things that would not be in place. And it's sad to say it took something like that to put those pieces in place, but the heart that she gave to our community really sings forward, and Jacob's hope will live on.
Yes, his legacy truly will live on. His name lives on. And just for all of us who have lost people, what can you say from your expertise as an intuitive? How can we look to comfort even though that person is no longer there with us?
Well, when we cross, as you said, I communicate with those that have crossed over, and when we cross, we move into a space of quick healing and all love. And I think what some people struggle with is not knowing what our loved ones are faced with as they cross over, and they're met with love and healing and peace and happiness. And as they go through that step, then many of them turn to come back and help us through their energy, not physically, but in their energy. They step in and they help us. And I have to believe in this family, as many others maybe in the audience have lost loved ones, they reach out to us and we feel them, we sense them, we get messages from them all the time.
We're going to get into more about those messages with Laurie. We're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, she's going to give us some advice on how to see and hear and feel those messages, as well as share with us why September is a really interesting month when it comes to the moon. And what does that mean for all of us? You are listening to News and Views with Rashini Rajkumar. We'll be right back with Laurie Wondra.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
Rashini Rajkumar back here at the Minnesota State Fair, the great get-together. Come see me. The corner of Carnes and Underwood is our WCCO radio media center. We'd all love to see you these last 2 days of the fair, and there's a nice little porch here. You can hang out. There are places for you to sit and relax. I'm talking with Laurie Wondra. She is an intuitive. Her company, YourLifeCore. Laurie, what is an intuitive?
An intuitive, what I do is I read energy, and there's a science to it. Everything is made up of energy. The chairs that you're sitting on, the tables that we sit by, and we are energy. So when I work with people, I look at their energy, but as our loved ones pass, or archangels or ascended masters or other elementals come in, they're simply energy also, and I connect with those energies and communicate messages.
And those of you who are out at the fair with me today, if you have a question for Laurie, just come right up here. We can get your question in. If you're wondering about someone who's passed or just something going on in your life right now, Laurie is just amazing at reading energy. So real quickly, Laurie, when someone does cross over, you were telling us before the break, they're still with us. They're still out there. Mm-hmm. How can we know? How can we read some of the signs?
Great signs are anything from finding a penny or a dime. I laugh. My dad always leaves me dimes around. Feathers. Sometimes we smell them. If they drink coffee or they smoke cigarettes, we can smell, or if they have a favorite perfume. They work really hard to come back and let us know that they're okay, that they're with us, and that they are there to communicate. They're just another form of energy. They've left their physical third dimension body and have moved on to a higher frequency. And they want to share with us that they are there and they're okay, and they want to let us know that they're okay.
You've been on my show this year, earlier in the year, and you said 2016 is a year of change.
It is.
And tell everybody why.
It is. We are going through a year of, I would call it a loss, or shedding, or cleaning out the things that don't work for us. And a lot of things are happening very quickly with some of the other planets that are influencing. So people might find relationships are ending, or jobs are ending, or they need to move very quickly in where they're living. Those are all to get us to move. Maybe we haven't been moving in our life, and the forces that are around us are saying now is the time. And it's all in preparation for 2017. 2017 is going to be a very abundant year for a lot of people.
Wow, that sounds great. I think we could use that, right? Well, speaking of those forces and alignments, this month, September, is a really big month for the moon, which could mean that's a big month or an interesting month for all of us.
It is. We have 2 new moons and 1 full moon in September, but we also have 2 eclipses. So September 1st was a new moon, and we had a solar eclipse. And then we have a lunar eclipse on September 16th. And then after that is the fall equinox, and then the new moon at the end of the month, September 30th. So all that means is that we have a lot of energy coming in. We are feeling it. We're feeling it in pressure. Some of you out there might be feeling pressure in different areas of your life. And it's creating that pressure for us to move in order for us to get into a new space in our life, all in preparation for the rest of this year, and more importantly into 2017.
And what's your advice then, as you're kind of feeling the energies, for really anyone out there, regardless of their sign or their age or what they do, for getting in that prep?
It is. It's not to make knee-jerk reactions, really to pause in life. A lot of times we have been really pushed on our emotions in 2016. It actually has been a very emotional year, even around the globe and locally here in Minnesota. And if we can step back and not act on purely emotion, but really put some logic in there and pay attention to our emotions, but not to act so quickly on them. Our emotions really are our compass, and so we need to pay attention to them, but not do it in a quick jolt way, to spend some time with it.
I'm talking with intuitive Laurie Wondra. If you're out here at the fair, come right up to the porch if you have a question for her about your life. She's so good at answering and kind of giving you a little guidance. We have just another few minutes with her, so feel free to do that. Laurie, what is kind of the most common question that people ask you when they either come for readings or you work with them?
Well, aside from people wanting to connect with their loved ones or even pets that have crossed over, really the number one question is their career. What's next for me? And given that it's a year for 2016 of change and sudden shifting, a lot of people are asking, what am I supposed to be doing? What's next for me in my life?
Well, we do have a question. What's your name?
My name is Barb. Hi.
Hi, Barb.
Hi. Sorry. I do have a question. A couple, just real quick. Someone has passed for me, and someone I'm felt very, 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 very connected to. I really, truly like to believe this person is still around, and I think I'm getting signs.
You are. So I have a mother energy that's to your right, and if you feel warm, there's a mother energy. If this is mom or grandmother, that's also coming in. And oftentimes our mothers or grandmothers or grandparents come in as the gatekeeper, but I also feel like you have a friend that's passed. Is this a friend that's passed that you're really close to?
It was a friend, but
Yes.
It was somebody more.
Yeah, a significant other. Yes. And so I get Mom coming in. Sometimes, was this a recent passing?
Going on 2 years.
Okay. Because sometimes when it is a recent passing, our loved ones step in to assist and to give energy and to give guidance or to increase that energy. And so that's why Mom is coming in, or grandmother, also to assist him in speaking. And he does come in. I feel like there's certain scents that you smell every once in a while. And I'm seeing him, was he very outdoorsy, maybe puts in the garage, doing work in the garage. I'm like sawdust is what I'm tasting or smelling right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Very much so. Because it's my husband who loved being in the garage, loved working in the garage. He also did woodworking, and that was his spot. It's still left the way Dave left it.
Yeah, and so he still visits there. But he's saying, dear, that you don't have to leave it as is, because every once in a while you think about, maybe I should move these things, and he's saying that when time is right for you, it's okay for you to move. But I feel like you get that smell of cedar or wood. Yeah.
Wow, that
Absolutely.
is really great. Well, thank you for having the courage to come up and share that. I know it's touching. It's someone so very close to you. So it hopefully lifts you up to hear a little bit of this from Laurie.
I do get asked a lot, do my loved ones, how do I know? And, our brains have a way of talking us out of our experiences. We just don't want to believe. And so what I would say is just believe. If you have a sense that a loved one is joining you or you're getting a message, just go with your intuition. Go with that feeling and don't reason it away.
So Laurie's been coming on my show for a few years now, and a couple years ago, I think it was while we were on the show, I can't remember now, but I did share with her, my father passed away when I was little, and you told me that he's there, that he's right there. Yeah. And so there are times when I'll sit there and I'll be like, okay, Dad, where are you? Give me a sign. But it's not like that, right?
Absolutely. You can ask them to be there, and you can't ask them enough. They want to jump in. They want to help if they're available. If it's not intruding in your life, there's certain rules in the heavens that they can't shift things that are not in alignment with your divine plan.
So it's not like he's going to move a book to tell me he's there or something.
No. Because it does take a lot of energy. If you think they're a frequency, they're an energy. If you, they could be a sound. Sometimes we hear this high-pitched tone in our ears. Sometimes we feel a breeze that moves by. They come to us in a state of energy.
Wow. Really good stuff. Laurie Wondra is an intuitive. How can people find you online, Laurie?
They can find me on my website at YourLifeCore.com, or they can reach out to me at 612-584-8673.
And I know Laurie doesn't like to predict elections. We are going to be speaking with 2nd District candidate Angie Craig.